You open your phone for 5 minutes, you put it back down, and without noticing, you feel a little bit less successful, less far along, less enough. Nothing in your life changed in those 5 minutes, except one thing. You just compared yourself to 30 other people, and you lost every single time. This might be the sneakiest habit your brain has. It runs automatically 100 times a day, and it quietly decides how happy you're allowed to feel. Today, I'll show you exactly why you do this, and how to turn the game back in your favor. Let me paint you a picture. It's Sunday evening. You had a genuinely good week. You finished something you were proud of. You had dinner with people you love. You even went for a run. And for a moment, you feel it. Content, calm, enough. Then you pick up your phone, and within about 90 seconds, you've seen someone your age who just bought a house, someone who just launched a business, someone on a beach you'll never afford, with a body you'll never have, looking happier than you felt in months. You put the phone down, and that quiet contentment, gone, replaced by a low familiar hum. Everyone else is doing better than me. Nothing about your week changed. Your work is still good, your friends still love you, but the feeling is gone because feelings aren't based on facts. They're based on comparison. And here's the thing, everybody does it. The successful CEO compares himself to the even more successful CEO. The pro athlete compares herself to the world champion. And you compare yourself to that one person from school who seems to have it all figured out. Here's the strange part. Comparing isn't stupid or weak. It's an ancient survival mechanism, wired deep into your brain. The problem isn't that you compare. The problem is that the modern world has completely hijacked this mechanism. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you won't just understand why you do it. You'll have 3 concrete ways to break free. Your brain has no absolute standard for good enough. Think about that for a second. There is no internal meter that says, okay, you have enough now, you've made it. Instead, your brain does something much smarter and much more dangerous. It measures you against the people around you. Do you earn $3,000 a month? That feels great, until you hear your neighbor makes $5,000. Suddenly, the exact same salary feels like failure. The number didn't change, only the comparison did. And this is the core truth of today's video. Your sense of enough is not based on what you have. It's based on what the people around you have. And whoever controls who you compare yourself to controls how you feel. So why would your brain torture you like this? Because 100,000 years ago, it kept you alive. Imagine living in a small tribe of 30 people. Your survival depended entirely on your rank within that group. If you had less food, less status, or fewer allies than the others, you could be pushed out. And being alone in the wild meant death. So the brains that constantly asked, "How do I compare to the others?" survived and passed on their genes. The ones that didn't care, didn't make it. You are the descendant of the world's most obsessive comparers. That anxious little voice checking whether you're keeping up. That's not a flaw. That's a feature that kept your ancestors alive. The trouble is, your brain still thinks you live in a tribe of 30 people. It doesn't know the difference between the tribe and the internet. In 1954, a psychologist named Leon Festinger gave this a name: social comparison theory. He discovered that when we can't measure ourselves objectively, we automatically measure ourselves against other people. And he found that we compare in 2 directions. Upward comparison, looking at people who seem better than us. This can inspire us or crush us. And downward comparison, looking at people who seem worse off. This can make us feel better or arrogant. Here's the catch. In a healthy tribe, you'd get a balanced mix of both. You'd see people doing better and people doing worse. But the modern world, it feeds you almost nothing but upward comparison. All day, every day. And here's where it gets brutal. Social media isn't a window into other people's lives. It's a highlight reel. When you scroll, you're comparing your behind-the-scenes footage, your doubts, your boring Tuesday, your messy kitchen, to everyone else's greatest hits. The vacations, the wins, the perfect moments, carefully chosen out of thousands. You are comparing your bloopers to their trailer. And it's worse than that. The algorithm specifically shows you the most impressive, most extreme content it can find, because that's what keeps you watching. So you're not even comparing yourself to your friends anymore. You're comparing yourself to the top 0.01% of 8 billion people, all at once, all day long. No wonder you feel behind. The game is rigged. You were designed to lose it. And here's the part almost nobody warns you about. Comparison doesn't shrink as you succeed. It grows. You'd think that once you finally get the thing, the promotion, the money, the followers, the comparing would stop. It doesn't. Because the moment you level up, your brain quietly swaps out who you compare yourself to. Think about it. When you were broke, you envied people with a stable job. Get that stable job, and suddenly you're not comparing yourself to the unemployed anymore. You're comparing yourself to the colleague who got promoted faster. Buy your first car, and you stop noticing the people with no car, and start noticing the better car. Psychologists call these your reference groups, and the cruel trick is that they keep moving up, right alongside you. This is why the millionaire feels poor next to the billionaire. Why the person with 10,000 followers feels invisible next to the one with 1 million. They didn't fail. They just walked into a new room, and in every new room, there's someone ahead of you again. So if you're waiting to arrive before you let yourself feel enough, I have some bad news. There is no arriving. The finish line moves every single time you reach it, which means the feeling of enough was never going to come from out there. It has to come from a decision you make in here, because this constant upward comparison has a price, one that psychologists have actually measured. More comparison is linked to more anxiety, more depression, lower self-esteem, and lower life satisfaction. But here's the sneakiest cost of all. Comparison steals your wins. You finally save enough for a car you're proud of, and then you see someone with a better one, and the joy evaporates in seconds. You reach the goal, and the comparison erases the reward. It's a treadmill. No matter how fast you run, there's always someone ahead, so you never actually arrive. Psychologists call it the comparison trap. And the exit is not running faster. The exit is stepping off the treadmill entirely. So, how do you step off? 3 shifts. Number 1, compare yourself to your past self, not to other people. There will always be someone ahead of you. That's infinite and unwinnable. But there's one person you can always beat, who you were yesterday. Are you a little wiser, a little stronger, a little kinder than a year ago? That's the only race that's actually fair. Here's a simple way to do it. Once a week, write down one thing you can do now that you couldn't do a year ago. Maybe you can hold a hard conversation without falling apart. Maybe you finally understand your money. Maybe you're just calmer than you used to be. It feels small, but stack 52 of those on top of each other, and that is a completely different person. So stop looking sideways at everyone else, and start looking back at how far you've come. Number 2, curate what you consume. Your feed is your comparison diet. If everything you see makes you feel behind, you don't have a character flaw. You have a feed problem. So try this for 1 week. Every time you scroll past something and feel that little sting of, I'm not good enough, don't just keep going. Mute it. Unfollow it. And for every account you cut, follow one that actually teaches you something or makes you feel capable. You wouldn't eat garbage all day and wonder why you feel sick. So stop feeding your brain 100 upward comparisons before breakfast. Give it 7 days, and your feed and your mood will feel like a completely different place. And number 3, focus on the process, not the outcome. You can't see anyone's full story. You see their trophy, never the 10 years of struggle behind it. So comparing outcomes is meaningless. You're missing 99% of the data. So instead of measuring yourself by results you can't control, measure yourself by actions you can. Don't compare your body to theirs. Ask, did I train today? Don't compare your success to theirs. Ask, did I do the work today? Results depend on luck, timing, and 1,000 things outside your hands. But the process? The process is yours. So, run your own race. Define what enough means for you, on your terms, and measure yourself against that. Because when you're running in your own lane, it literally doesn't matter how fast anyone else is going. Comparison isn't the enemy. It's an ancient tool that once kept you alive, but a tool that helped you survive in a tribe of 30 will quietly destroy you in a world of 8 billion unless you take back control of it. So, the next time you catch yourself feeling small after scrolling, remember this: you're not falling behind, you're just looking at a rigged scoreboard. Put it down. Look at how far you've come, and run your own race. If this made you see your own mind a little more clearly, subscribe, because that's exactly what this channel is about. Understanding the hidden software running your life, one video at a time. I'll see you in the next one.